Welcome to the Splash City Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Hartman. Today's episode, I'm joined by Matt Askegaard, basketball fanatic, friend of mine for many years, high school basketball coach. And we'll talk Minnesota State Boys Tournament, Final Four preview. We'll talk a little Wolves and have lots of fun, lots of stories in today's episode. If you are a fan and want to follow along on social media, you can follow on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. And of course, follow or subscribe to Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a review. I'd love to hear from you. Appreciate you listening as always. And with that, let's get into it. All right. We're back with Matt Askegaard, longtime friend. Not first time guest, though, repeat guest,
No.
coming back on after the season's ended. Minnesota State boys basketball tournament just ended. We got Final Four preview to talk about. Wolves are, 8 games from playoffs here. Matt, thanks for joining. Good to see you again, as always, my friend.
Great to be here. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but we did visit before the season, wasn't it? Wasn't it just before the season
It was
started?
right after your holiday tournament down
Oh yeah,
in
that's
Howard
right.
Lake. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. Because
So,
we ran into each other and visited and talked and
yeah,
yeah, quickly how time goes, but every year, every
yeah.
season is like that.
You got open golf courses up there? Because you're golf coach, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a golfer that coaches golf, but no, we've got some big flakes coming down right now.
Okay.
Not as much,
Okay.
not as much snow as what is this? Our fourth winter maybe this year, but
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing open. I was hoping so, but looking at like a 10-day forecast here, nothing's getting above 42. I think we got one day
Yeah.
next week that's in the 40s and everything else, but there is very little to no snow unless you're in the sheltered areas, but looking like maybe 3 to 4 inches tomorrow. So
Ooh,
still basketball season.
still basketball season for a while, it sounds like. That's
Yeah.
too bad. Yeah, it's been a wild winter. Obviously, kind of winding down, I guess. It'll be a Wolves heavy podcast after about a week or so, but
Mm.
we were talking a little bit about the state basketball tournament. Watched a lot of it. I was gone. We had spring break, so I wasn't able to take in anything in person until Saturday. Um, anything exciting or stand out to you as you were watching? Because I talked about a couple things on Sunday, but I'd love to hear what you took away from this year's state tournament.
Well, I kind of go back to last year's state tournament, and it just kind of this year's state tournament just reconfirmed or reaffirmed kind of what I was thinking is that a lot of these teams obviously have guys that can shoot, but they all have what seems to be a big guy, somebody that's 6'5" plus, that can play around the basket, that's physical, that's long, athletic. I it's again the game of basketball. It's an advantage if you're bigger. I
Hmm.
would take small and speed over big and slow. But a lot of these teams, again, have somebody that is inside, not necessarily a back to the basket guy, but somebody that is able to get in there and get you more possessions, whether it's offensively or limit possessions defensively on the glass. So, obviously the bigger schools have a lot more of those guys, but even the smaller schools um, have those guys as well.
I think you see that in college. That was my thought
Yeah.
about the Final Four too, is Illinois, Michigan, and Arizona are 3 of the biggest teams in college. I
Yeah.
mean, and you're kinda seeing this, like, it used to be, I don't know, 5, 10 years ago, everybody's spreading you out, shooting threes. There was the
Hmm.
dribble drive motion 15 years ago, that was the big thing. But man, now it's like bully ball, we're gonna pound you on the glass, gain extra possessions, protect the rim, nothing easy for the other team. And you just see that kind of playing out and winning. Even like Duke losing to UConn, Duke's bread and butter was Cam Boozer around the
Right.
rim
Right.
and
Oh, and
Gangba
that's
protecting the rim. So,
right,
and
exactly, and
Terrace Reed for UConn.
you watch the last few minutes of that game, and that's they go two-man game to the one side, Duke would, and Boozer would back himself in and hit some tough shots.
Hmm.
Um, but no, you're exactly right, and it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of practice to work on that, and um, human nature is to do the easiest thing, and maybe that's what we're kind of seeing now is maybe a little transition we got a kid on our team who's about 6'3", kind of what you were talking about. Was it the Maple Grove that's got in the
Yeah.
third place game that we
Yep.
were talking about, six
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
Um,
Big, strong dude,
mhm,
but just great at setting screens, just hard,
yep,
just doing a lot. He got a big rebound late in the second half and then kind of got fouled, like
mhm,
just energy for the crowd and the team. But yeah,
right.
those guys are so valuable.
Right, and you don't see those a lot, and you see a big guy with that stature. Like I was gonna say, we got a kid that's about 6'2", 6'3", and that big, 280, 290. He moves really well. He's got good hands, and when he does smooth things around the basket, um, I think people are taken back by that because you don't see it
Hmm.
a whole lot, especially from somebody that is that size.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the NBA game, I feel like is very different than college, and I feel like for a long time it was kinda going that way, but, I mean, there's still some teams that you see a lot of that kind of, just ball screens over and over and over with,
Yeah.
two-man games, but, UConn doesn't play that way, and Michigan and Arizona don't really, I mean, they do some of it, but there's a little bit different focus, and it's more that
Yeah.
UConn, I mean, I could watch UConn's offense all day, every day,
Yeah.
and I think it's so interesting, but, like, the evolution of the game and how it trickles down to high school level, and then things change, and you see different advantages there too, like, I don't know if you watched the championship in 4A, but Apple Valley, Tyler
Mhm.
Forrest was just or
Right.
Trey Parker, sorry, Tyler Forrest was Chaska. But,
Yep.
yeah, so just, like, there's still guys out there who can make shots, the shot making is incredible,
Right.
but then Chaska had all these other kinda, I think it's Jokum is the last name, the kid who got all
Mhm.
the free throws at the end, but just guys doing dirty work and
Right.
rebounding and guarding the other team's best player, and,
Yep.
they don't always get all the glory, but it's certainly, positions that make winning plays for the team.
Oh, yeah, 100%, and was he number 41? I'm not really
I think
familiar with a
so.
lot of. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think he had what'd he have, 2 points at the half, he ended with 12, or maybe he had 0 points at the half, and he had all his points in the second half, but just watching him hustle up and
Mhm.
down I mean, there's not I guess there is a drill for that, is just beating your guy from one end to the other as hard as you can,
Yeah.
and just willing his team, loose balls, rebounds, and then making free throws at the end is huge. But yeah,
Yep.
he's what, 6'3", 6'2", 6'3"? Not
Yep. Yep.
overly tall, but big. I mean, put together, he had to be about 215 and
Yeah.
athletic, and yeah, the dirty blonde mustache too.
Yep. That stood out. Yeah. At first I was
Yeah.
like, am I seeing that right? Oh yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
you guys are 2A, so I'm sure you followed the 2A tournament closely. Perham comes out of your section. I
Mhm.
don't think they were a top seed though, right? They had a couple upsets. Um, I mean, same thing, like Jackson County is huge. Kellen
Yeah.
Trope for Minnehaha is 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
He had a huge game in the title game. Um, I noticed the underclassmen. I don't know if it's been this way and I just haven't been paying attention, but the amount of sophomores and juniors at all levels was
Yep.
crazy to me, but, like, the loose kid from, Goodhue, awesome,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's a
Yep.
sophomore, and then Minnehaha's got all juniors and sophomores, and it's just
Well,
wild how good they are.
and the kid from Chaska, 23, he's only a freshman, isn't
Yes,
he?
yes,
Yes, he's
yep.
about
Keenan,
6'3",
yep,
long, athletic, had a really good game in the championship
yep.
game. Yeah, you
De La
wonder.
Salle, Totino are a
Yeah,
ton of underclassmen there too.
yeah, and, getting back to, you're talking about Perm, 2 of their starters are sophomores. Their point guard, and they've
Mm,
got a big insider, Gabe Razor is his name. I mean, they're gonna be tough next year. I think out of their starting 5, they graduate 1 kid, Nathan Rusted, and they get a lot of good guys back, and they're gonna be the team to beat in our section. But yeah, they were the 8th seed. But yeah, they played Jackson County. Actually, they played Goodhue first, and then ended up playing
mhm,
Jackson County. And yeah, some really big teams. Jackson County going 6'10", 6'7". Obviously, Roman Voss 6'4", 4-star, going to the Gophers. Some really, really good athletic players playing the game of basketball. And getting back to what we were talking about before is, I we were good enough because in the section championship, the 2 teams that were there, we had beat. and almost
Mm,
beat Perm twice. And you always wonder, but I mean, we're good enough to beat them, but we're also volatile enough to lose first round, which we did. And I think a lot of it that had to do with our size, because we're not real big. With our biggest guy was about 6'3", and maybe he was 175 pounds dripping wet. Besides my big guy that you
yeah,
were talking about too.
yeah,
But it's tough to go 6'10", tough to go against 6'10", 6'7", consistently. I mean, because you're just it's physically and mentally draining to try to do
mhm,
that as a fairly small school in Double A. So,
yeah,
but yeah, a lot of good young players around the
mhm,
state on the biggest stage at the state tournament, which is fun
right.
to see.
Yeah, and usually you see you'd lean towards teams that are senior heavy or senior dominant, and
Hmm.
it seems like a lot of these teams that were there might have had a senior or 2, but do you think just the skill level of younger players is that much more advanced than it used to be? Or is it just like maybe it's just this window where there's just a ton of young kids that are sophomores and juniors that are really good? Or is it a trend that you see?
Well, I think it's probably a combination. I mean, I met with all of our guys 7th through 11th today talking about summer stuff, and they've got everything at the tip of their finger. You can go on their phone or
Yeah.
their iPad, their computer, and find drills, and that's what I told them. And you start with a good habit, and you get addicted to it, and 5 minutes turns into 10, turns to 20 and 30, and uh, y you know, I look at my youngest son now. My oldest is 8th grade, but my youngest is 4th grade, and there's no way I was playing this long into the season. I mean, they've
Sure.
got so many more opportunities, but what we're able to teach them and what they're able to pick up and learn, obviously is very valuable. But it's got to come from them, and they're just, I think, exposed to so many things too. Whether it's the NBA, to college, all the way down to high school. We were watching last night the McDonald's High School All American game, which was a lot of fun. And we watched some of the competitions the night before. So they see it. I think they see it and they eat it and they breathe it and they just want to be a part of it. So, but yeah, I think it's a combination, like you said. I
Yeah.
don't think it's one thing.
But you think, you know, seniors would have been that way too.
Yeah.
Unless there's like a COVID lag that we're missing, and
Hmm.
maybe that's possible. Like they were
Yeah, that could
13 or
be.
so when 12 or 13 when COVID hit. Um, but I don't remember this many teams having leaders. Best player on the
Hmm.
court is an underclassman at the state tournament. Like, yeah, you'd
Right.
run into somebody who's really talented, but usually like, hey, we got 7 seniors in our starting, in our top 9. That team's gonna be really tough to beat just from experience. But because
Right.
in college, I feel like that's happening where the older, I mean, maybe that's more of a physical thing, but
You
like,
want to go right to the UConn Duke game? Is that what you want to
God,
do?
I mean, I could talk about it forever. I'm sorry. I'm still not over it.
No. Okay, yeah. We'll
You were
get there.
ahead of
We'll
me
get
on
there.
the feed,
Yeah.
so when you were texting, I'm like, "Oh my god, what just
Was I
happened?"
was I? I didn't mean
I
to.
think
I'm
so, yeah.
sorry.
No, it's all good. No,
Yeah.
I could feel it coming, trust me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's
anyway,
kinda
it
it's
just
kinda
seems
like
like
being a Vikings fan, really.
it
I don't
is.
know.
Well, yeah. When I became a Duke fan, it was after they lost to UNLV by 30 in the title game, so I was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
poor Duke," and I didn't realize everybody hated Duke and
Right,
still do,
right.
so
Yeah.
I'm stuck with that. But yeah, these last couple years, man, are
Oh,
tough
God,
to ride with.
and
Um,
I think probably Sunday is gonna, I mean, I think it's it's tough. It's tougher than last year's game when you've got a 19-point lead and you just kinda can
mhm,
see it, and we're not in the huddles. And I mean, those guys are, but you kind of said it, and we're kind of going down this rabbit hole right now. Is That's a perfect example of a freshman squad versus a UConn squad that is older, upperclassmen, Karaban, and all those guys that are
mhm,
seniors.
yep,
And it was a perfect example. I obviously talked to my players that next day on Monday, and I said, "What did he do?" "Oh, he left his feet." "Yeah, that's why you don't leave your feet and try to make the pass." So, but
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's,
I know there's been a lot of talk about like, oh, well, they lost a 19-point lead. There was lots of plays. It's not on
mhm,
Caden Boozer, and I agree.
yeah,
But
but
um, this happened last year to them, and it happened the year before
mhm,
to them. And so my thing is, in an era where everyone's getting older and bigger, whether you're older because your freshman is 20 and he's from Europe, or because
mhm,
you've got transfer portal guys who are 22, 23 years old. In games like this, that can be the difference, right? Like Duke,
100%, yeah.
as much as
No, I
that second half went wrong, you make one play and that you win that game.
right,
And
right,
sadly, that's what it came down to. And all you got to
mhm,
do is hold. And the thing that what I was kind of saying is, you would tell this to a high school sophomore or junior to hold the ball there.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yep, yeah,
sure, if you make
don't
that pass over the top, it's over for sure.
yeah,
But if you hold the ball, it's probably over and you
it's
have
probably
very
over
little
too.
risk. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, and then that's what I talked about on Monday too with I've got 6 or 7 of my basketball guys in my first hour class, and it's hard to not say it's everything gets magnified that last, obviously, 4 3 4 seconds,
Mhm.
and but it's hard not to say that's not true because, yes, if he would have just have done that, we wouldn't be talking about it, and Duke's in the Final Four.
Right.
Um, but it's not, and that's the way that it goes. I mean, I feel for him, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I
100%.
I
You could
haven't
tell he
lost
felt
sleep over it.
terrible.
Yeah, yeah, and gosh, yeah, it's just it's a bummer, but
Yeah.
that's why the game is 40 minutes, and I never really thought about it until just a few weeks ago because if the game was 20 minutes, there'd be a lot of games that we would have won. There'd be a lot of games that we would have lost if it was only 20 minutes, and
Mhm.
that's why it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
yeah, good, fun, exciting weekend. Most of
Yeah.
the games anyway.
Yeah. I know, the Michigan game wasn't particularly close and stuff, and Arizona Purdue was a good game for a while, but
Hmm.
you were kinda talking about this, how those 2 teams, I think, just wear people out. They
Yeah.
just
Yep.
like, it's not noticeable. Like, Tennessee, right away, I was like, "Okay, Tennessee's got some size and some toughness." Like, their big guy they
Yep.
brought off the bench, I forget his name, but they had Estrella, they had Akpara, then they brought this big, strong dude off the bench. I'm like, "Alright, they'll be able to bang with Michigan. This is gonna be," and then
Hmm.
early, it looked like they could, and
Yep.
eventually, they just couldn't do it for 40
Right.
minutes, and Michigan wore them out. Arizona, the
Yep.
same thing.
Right. Exactly. And that's kind of going back to like the makeup of my team this year is if we had to go against those big teams of the good Hughes, we would have matched up with good Hugh right away. Just like last year, we were 3 points away, 4 points, a couple buckets away from making the state tournament. We would have matched up with Albany, who went 6-8. Hondel's at MSU now. And we might have been able to do it for maybe 18 minutes, maybe the first half.
Mhm,
Um, but we would have battled, we would have fought, but that over the span of 40 minutes, that takes a toll. And then, you get to your last 4 or 5, 6 minutes, and yeah, you can see Arizona really start to it's almost like they're not toying with teams. They're just continuing to play, and their style of play and their physicality eventually just overcomes whatever's in front of them.
mhm.
So,
It's so much too, like, I've talked to my son a few times about this while we're watching games, like, those offensive rebound kickout threes are absolute
mhm,
daggers, and I haven't seen a stat on that. I'm sure somebody keeps stats on, maybe you guys do, but I would imagine teams shoot over 50% on those because it feels like they all go in,
yeah,
after an offensive rebound, you give up an open three, it's just like, "Oh, that's in." Like,
yeah,
that sucks, and those are like, that's just deflating, and if
mhm,
you do that 5 times in a game, that's 15 points.
right,
It's really hard to overcome that.
mhm. No, we don't track that, but what we do every single day in practice is partner shooting, and the guy is underneath rebounding and he's kicking straight out. And whether
Mhm,
it's, on a drive and a kick out or an offensive rebound and a kick out, our shooters we're just continually practicing that. That's what we do. I'm sure those other schools, obviously uh, at the higher levels that they're probably doing something similar, maybe the same thing, but they're doing something where, I mean, you're stepping into your shot, and if it's your shot and it's in rhythm, is what we say, you're taking it. I mean, obviously, situations do depend, but we don't want guys second guessing a shot, and those are the best ones where you're squared up, you're catching, and you're going right into your shot.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's more times than not that ball's going in because he's wide
Yep.
open too. Because
Mhm.
most everybody's rebounding.
Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, not to bring it up again, but when Braylon Mullins caught that pass from Karaban, I'm like, "That's in." Before he even
Yeah.
shot it, I'm like, "Oh god,"
Yep.
because he's moving towards the hoop, he's in
Yep.
rhythm, he's stepping into it, and that's a 35 footer that every one of those college shooters can make,
Right. Right.
regularly. So as soon
Eh,
as he caught it, I'm like, "That's," and that was, as much as I hated it, that sound, that was a crispy,
uh-huh.
crispy sound when that thing hit the net.
One of the most beautiful sounds in the world. But yeah, you're right.
Yes.
If he doesn't, I mean, it wasn't a perfect straight kick out. Caravan was
Right.
closer to the 3-point line. He was probably
Yep.
closer to the basket, but he was being defended. Just that little kickback, and if he's got to come towards the ball at all, he's probably not making that shot because it
Right.
it it, it was a logo three. He was
Mhm.
deep, and it wasn't a straight up, straight down type of 3-point shot with you're able to really step, but he really had to step into that, and
Yeah.
because of that pass, he's able to do it, and game over.
Yeah. Karaban's gotta be one of my favorite college players in the last 10
Uh,
years, 10, 15
kudos
years. I
for
mean, he's
kudos for him sticking around.
right,
He coulda left,
right.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, he coulda left and got drafted was after his freshman years when they won it the first time, didn't they?
Yep, yep,
Yeah, so,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No,
hard
he's
nose.
yeah, did you see any of the Purdue players, kinda post-game press conferences where they talk about that a little bit?
I didn't, no.
Fletcher Loyer talked for a while about, how he would see guys leave and get paid more, and he's like, "I know I'm better than that guy," but he's like, "I think there's something worth building here and being part of something bigger than yourself." And I just, if you haven't seen it, I would go watch it
Yeah,
because it's pretty cool. Like in this era of everybody just chasing their money and stuff, and then I've seen this
mhm,
a lot too on social media now. A lot of the grass is greener where you water, not, it's not always just
yeah,
about leaving to find greener grass. Like if you water it, it'll grow and it'll get green there. And I,
right.
we were talking about how the Gophers got their four main returners back. The four guys that started besides Tyson are coming back next year, and so hopefully college. I feel like maybe this will slow down a little bit with the transferring, just because, you know money. Are people going to continue to just throw money at college teams that lose in the
Yeah,
first round of the tournament, like Kentucky did, or second
yeah,
round? You know,
BYU.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
it's
maybe they will, but, I hope there's some loyalty, or at least a system gets put in
mhm,
place where it can stick around. Because guys like Karaban at UConn for 4 years and Braden
right.
Smith and Fletcher Loyer for 4 years at Purdue, that's special. I think that's
It
cool.
is.
Even
Yep,
Duke's roster, right? Caleb Foster's a junior, and,
yep.
Gongba stuck around, and, I think they're talking like Caden Boozer will come back, and, like, if you can get 3 years out of guys at the same school, helps the fans, helps the game, I think,
I
but
think even if you got 2 years,
yeah,
out of guys, 2 to 3 years would be ideal, and I think it only benefits them, but obviously they're kinda chasing a dream too, or
right.
if they've got that opportunity, I figured Caden Boozer is gonna come back.
Yep.
It's gonna be interesting watching, the McDonald's All-American game, Rippy Jr.,
Rip
who's the
Hamilton
point guard.
Jr.?
No, Rippy, I can't remember his first
Oh,
name.
that's
Is
his
it
name?
Darren?
Oh,
Darren Rippy Jr.,
okay.
point guard recruit that's going to Duke next year. He's about 6'2",
Mm,
in the dunk contest. He can just yeah, very athletic. So is Caleb Foster coming back? I know this isn't a Duke podcast, but it's gonna be
yeah, I know.
interesting. That's 3 point guards.
Yeah,
I mean, you can never have 2. I mean, when you're guard heavy, obviously, I think that's really beneficial. Kind of what I said before is I'll take quick, short, smaller guys, especially guys that can handle it.
right.
So if he's going there, Caleb Foster comes back, Caden Booster comes back, they're going to have a pretty good backcourt
Yeah.
to handle the ball. So
Like you said, it's not a Duke podcast, but it probably could be. Maybe that's the
It
niche
could
for
be.
next year.
Yeah. We're
Um,
we're we're not crying. The sun has come up. The sun has
right,
come
yeah,
up.
yeah, no, we're okay. Um, a 16-year-old Steve would probably be crying still. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so we got Michigan, Arizona coming up. Everybody's kind of saying this is the national title game. I'm not sure I'm ready to say that. It feels like it, like they've been the best two
Yeah.
teams all year, but
Mhm.
I'm not going to say that UConn and Illinois can't beat whoever wins that other game. But who do you like in Michigan and Arizona?
Well, I have to go with Arizona. I picked Arizona in my bracket.
Okay, there you go.
And even now I've got to go with them. Their freshman, obviously Cole Pete is outstanding. Um, Bradley, they've got bigs. They can shoot it, they can get to the rim, they're physical. Michigan is too. It's going to be an outstanding game. I hope it doesn't turn into but it could be a blowout. You never know. I mean, it's
Hmm.
one game, and whoever wins this, like you said, this could be the national championship game. We'll get to the next game. I'm assuming we'll talk about the UConn and the Illinois game,
Yeah.
but I like Arizona to beat Michigan, and whoever they see on the other side is going to be my favorite to win it all.
So I like Jaden Bradley and Burries more than Cadeau and Burnett.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
who can guard Lendeborg on that Arizona roster? That's my only question.
That's a good. Yeah.
Karchenkov maybe is gonna have to chase him around and
Uh huh.
be physical down low, but man, he is such a matchup nightmare.
Yeah, and they'd probably rotate guys on him. A guy
Yeah.
like with that type of skill set, rotating guys on him with different sizes, different speeds, different ways that you can defend is hopefully can keep him out of rhythm and
Hmm.
second guessing and make it more challenging for him. But yeah, it's going to be a fun game. Obviously,
Yeah.
this time of year, they're all going to be fun. So
Yeah. You talked about guys sticking around. Uh, Will Cheddar from Stewartville, Minnesota, stuck around in Michigan when I'm sure he could have gone and started somewhere else, but he's been the sixth,
hmm
seventh man for them for a couple years. I wouldn't be shocked if he hits a couple of threes in that
yeah,
second half. It just feels like a game where a role player is going to do something like that. But Del Orso for Arizona could do the same thing. They got a Waka is another one of those like massive humans that just comes
yeah,
off and plays defense, a block shot. I mean, it's
yeah.
going to be such a good game. I can't wait
It
for that
is.
one.
It is. And you need
Yeah.
those guys. You need those role players to come in and step in when your stars are, obviously not on the floor, and they
Yep.
can come in and keep the ship going forward and hit those shots. Those are the types of players and the plays that you need to win national championships.
I'll never forget, it's a Duke podcast. It's official. Grayson Allen's freshman year when Tyus Jones and Jaleel Okafor playing Wisconsin. Grayson Allen
hmm
came in the second half, gave him a spark on offense and
Yeah.
defense, and that kind of turned the tide because I think Duke was down. I want to say Wisconsin had like a 10, 12-point lead at one
Yeah.
point in that game. So,
Yeah.
um, other game, you got UConn, Illinois. I have not been a believer in Illinois much this year, but I did do a little research Sunday on my podcast. Illinois was 80th in adjusted defensive efficiency through the whole season until March. March 1st and on, they're number 8.
Wow. Well, I
So,
think I saw something before the tournament started. I'd have to go back and look at the statistics, but if you're in the top 25%, is either percent or 25 teams with offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency, you're gonna be one of those teams in the Final Four, and it'd be
yeah.
interesting to see where these four teams fit right now. But
Well,
obviously, Illinois made that change, and that's where they're at now. And look what they're in the Final Four.
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I was like, can they guard anybody? Like, they're big,
hmm
but they were giving up a ton of points, all year. And, in this tournament, they went back-to-back games where they gave up 55. I think they've given up over
Yeah.
60 once in those 4 games. So, that's been the big change for them. They can score with anybody, and I think they've been number
Mm,
1 in offense all year, but defense has changed. The other Arizona, Michigan are top 5 in both. They're
yep.
1 and 2 in defense and 4 and
Okay.
5 in offense.
Well, there
And
you
then
go.
UConn, I think UConn was lower in offense than them. They're like 20th or 30th or something like that. But yeah, they're all
Yeah.
Duke was top 10 in both. So, one of those two teams had to fall. Illinois, the other thing, like sometimes I just don't know if they have like Illinois has some length on with quickness, right? Like I think
Mhm.
Wagler's kind of like that. Stojakovic is a little bit like that.
Yeah.
But Duke was trying to guard Karaban with Cam Boozer, and that just he's not quick enough. And so
Yeah, the
I'm
foot
thinking of
speed.
Illinois, who's going to
Yeah.
chase him around all those screens that he weaves through?
That's a really good question, and that's why you and I are sitting here talking about it rather than sitting on the sideline. But,
Yeah,
Brad Underwood, I don't think he gets enough credit. I look at the
I
guy,
agree.
he must be great. I mean, I'd love to sit him down in my living room if he's, like, recruiting my kid, which would be really cool someday. But
Yeah,
just to get to know the guy, because if you looked at him, would what kind of kid really he just looks like an old grumpy man.
he's
But
like Gene
he
Katie now.
Yes, he is,
Yeah,
but he gets it done, and
yeah.
his teams are fun to watch, and
Hmm.
really, I'm hoping Illinois does it. I hope Illinois makes it. I'd love to see the Big Ten in there. I hope it's not it'd be cool to have an all Big Ten championship, but I think Arizona's too good. But, it's gonna be an uphill battle, for the reasons that you mentioned. That it's gonna be tough for them to defend, but they've done it 4 games in a row, so who
Hmm.
says they can't do it a 5th time?
Yeah. I think part of it too, I had kind of forgot, but Kylan Boswell, who's, not a great shooter for Illinois, but he is a stout, strong guard.
Mhm.
And, he came back late in the year, and it kind of feels like maybe that was the turning point defensively. Like they didn't have the quickness on the perimeter without him because Wagler's good, but he's not the quickest guy. And same with Stojakovic. And I forget who they have off the bench, but Boswell
Mhm.
coming back, now you got a little bit more, someone who can kind of control the ball a little bit more. And
Pace is
and then
huge. Pace.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's helpful for them. It's so hard to bet against Hurley and UConn. Like as much
Yeah.
as I am not a Dan Hurley fan as a person, as a
I
coach, he's
agree.
amazing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's hard for me to just feel like I don't know. I have a tough one. Both of these, to me, these are two outstanding games and evenly
Mhm.
matched teams. UConn won earlier. They did play head to head, and UConn beat them.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were fully healthy even when they beat them earlier in the year. But Illinois definitely looks different than they did early
Yeah.
in this
No,
year.
no, I agree. Getting back to Boswell and being able to have a guard like that control the pace and defend and just hard-nosed players like that, just tough.
Hmm.
Really, obviously, this time of year, the seasons are long, and, um, to having a guy like that on your team, leading your team on the floor, is a great asset, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's
Hmm.
I do it's tough though. Again, I do like Illinois. I want Illinois. I want Illinois, but I think UConn with their depth and their veteran group, and I agree with you. I'm not a huge Hurley fan as a coach. I didn't realize that he basically headbutted the ref after
Yeah.
the game. Did you see that? I mean, what do you do
Yes.
there? Somebody asked me on Monday, "Did you see him headbutt the ref? What would you have done if you were reffing?" And I said, "No, I didn't." So I actually went back and watched it, and I went, "What? Who does that?" But
He's
yeah,
he's he's
um,
crazy, man. He
he
is
is, he
just
is.
nuts. He's
Yeah.
um yeah, a part of me just wishes they had lost just to see that scowl on his face. Anyway, sorry.
Yes.
And
I same,
um
same.
well, I was saying to somebody the other day, part of the reason is a couple years ago, he got caught on camera yelling at an official, "I'm the effing best coach in the
Yes.
sport. Don't turn your
Yes.
back on me. I'm the best effing coach in the sport."
Yep.
And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
if you are, you don't need to say that. Like, there's no
Right.
way Dean Smith or Coach K or Roy Williams ever said anything. Like,
Mhm.
come on, man, get over. You're 53 years old. Get over yourself and
Mhm.
coach the game. And this year he's been
Yeah.
better, but
Right.
that stuff and some of the fan stuff he's had with the Creighton fans, I'm just like, God, man, come on.
Yeah.
You're coaching
Just
high major basketball. Like this shouldn't be a thing, but it is anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess obviously a different coaching style, different coaching personality than you or I. And, I hear sometimes, did you see the coach down at the other end? No, I don't. I don't because I'm so focused on what's going on out there, let alone, a referee comes over and he's talking to me about a timeout and the situation. I'm more geared and headbutting him and getting,
Yeah,
it's tough for me to watch that kind of stuff, the pomp and
yeah,
circumstance, I guess.
yeah, yeah. We had a game this winter. I won't say who we were playing, but the mom doing the scorebook,
Uh,
uh, go after the game was like, "Did you hear what that coach was saying to the kids?" And I'm like, "No,
yeah.
obviously not paying attention really to what they're saying in their huddle." And
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, it was F this, F that, like, what are you effing doing?" And so the other parents were like, "Oh, yeah, we heard that across the court." And I was like, "Oh my god,
Jeez. Yeah.
6th grade basketball, man, we're losing our minds." Oh,
Yeah.
crazy. But, yeah, so
Yeah.
that guy's future Dan Hurley, maybe. Um
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year, I did a Big Ten preview, and I was like, "Is this the year? Like, has there been a better opportunity for the Big Ten to win the national title
Mhm.
since Michigan State in 2000?" You got Michigan,
Yeah.
Purdue was highly ranked, Michigan State, Illinois, everybody, these were all top 10 teams throughout the year. Nebraska even entered the
Right.
mix, right?
Right.
So are you saying you're going Arizona and you're going UConn and we're not gonna have a Big Ten champion again?
I'm telling you, I want Illinois. I just think it's gonna be really hard for Illinois, but I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't realize that watching I'm a big Izzo guy, and listening to him and watching him after they lost, um to UConn and I didn't realize it was that long since the Big Ten has won a national championship. That's
Mhm.
crazy. That's
It
crazy. There's a
is.
lot of really good basketball teams. And, getting back to what you had said, how good the Big Ten was this year, I was happy that we've got two in the Final Four. I say we
Yeah.
being from Minnesota, being in the Big
Yep.
Ten, but to have two and almost even more potentially would have been great. But gosh, it's gonna be tough if Illinois gets through UConn. They're going to have an even tougher challenge, I think, with whoever comes out with Arizona and Michigan, obviously.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, they had 6 of the Sweet 16, I think, 4 in the Elite 8, 2 in the Final 4.
yeah,
We'll see if they can get one at least 1 in the championship game. It should be a fun
yeah,
weekend for sure.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I don't know, you still watching the Wolves at all, Matt, or how you
Uh,
keeping up on them?
it's I keep up on them. I don't get a
You got
chance
the
to
shirt
watch
on.
them. I do. I threw this on. I
Oh.
should have thrown your merch on today. I apologize for that. But
Okay.
looking at the box scores, watching the highlights, I don't get to watch them a whole lot because we just don't have, are they on FanDuel? Is that what they're on?
FanDuel, yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have that, but when they're on, we've got Hulu, and when they're on Prime has started to pick up a lot of more of those games, but, I know we have one of the best basketball players on the planet, and he hasn't been playing, and I think we look really good.
Yeah,
I don't mean that as a dig at Ant, because Ant is
no,
outstanding, but basketball is a game where you share the ball. If you share the ball, you're gonna be really good, and, our acquisition, I'm gonna mess his name up, from the Bulls, at the
Io DeSumo,
triple-double. Yeah,
I
Io,
got you.
I like to say Ayo, but,
Ayo.
Io, but, if they don't re-sign him, they are they will tell me they'll re-sign him.
I think they have to. I
They
mean,
have to. I
he's been so
mean, he
good.
could start. He should be starting.
I actually said that, there's a guy, Andrew Dukowitz, who I've done a couple podcasts with. He does a post-game show, after every Wolves game, and a week ago or so, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I joined the chat and just kinda threw out, like, because to me, Io is one of those guys that doesn't need shots, but he
Mhm,
is a facilitator. He will push pace, which
mhm.
Ant doesn't like to do. He likes to get it and kind of walk it up and do his ISO
Yep,
thing. So like
yep,
push pace, like and he's as good a defender I think as Dante or close. And
mhm,
so I was like, should Io start? This was back when they were like really scuffling.
yep,
And, just to change things up, get Dante back on the bench with Bones and Nas and just kinda, like, see what happens, like, whatever. If it doesn't work, you
mhm,
just go back, but, everyone's like, "Ah, it's too late in the year to change, starting lineups," and maybe that's true, but, man, they just do look a little more fluid without Ant. Now
mhm.
he came back was it Monday night when they
A
beat the
little bit.
Mavericks really bad. He played. He
Yeah.
came off the bench, which I thought was also kind of weird. But
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I looked into some stats on this on like Wolves and wins versus losses, and like Julius and Ant shoot less when the Wolves win. So it
Mhm.
kind and I don't know if that's chicken or egg, right? Like, is it they're shooting more
Right.
because we're trying to come back because we were down, or is it like you said, which I think it probably is when the ball's moving and
Yep.
Jaden's getting more shots and Dante's getting open looks, you know, and Rudy gets actually some lobs thrown to him, like they actually look
Yeah.
better and are harder to guard. But
Yep.
so
I saw the other night, I really like this lineup when they go Bones, Dante, Io, Julius, and Nas, or even Jaden, but Jaden's been out. But the ball gets pretty sticky with Ant and Julius at times.
yep,
Those guys playing, like you said, at a faster pace, they can still defend, and
mhm,
they're just it almost looks they play with a lot of joy out there. It's not painful to watch. It's free
yeah.
flowing, and they played really well with it. So, um, and I think that's what they talked about when they picked up Io is that he doesn't need those shots and he can play a lot of different positions and he can defend and yeah, I think he's a gamer and it'll be interesting to see how things come together here come playoff time.
Yeah, I've kind of been a big Chris Finch fan or like trusting, like
Mhm.
when they go through these slides, it's like, yeah, it looks awful. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, the last 5 years have looked that way. And the last 2 years, they've figured it out and they put together runs. It feels kind of similar to me, and not saying that, it's going to be a gauntlet to get through the West no matter what. But
yeah.
um, I feel like they have a lot of flexibility in lineups right now, which is kind of maybe what the
Mhm.
plan was with Io and Kyle Anderson, to be honest. Like now you have some different lineups you can play. If you play Houston, you can go a little bigger. And if you go, against, Lakers where they don't really have a big four man, you can play maybe, Jaden at the four if you have to. Like you just have more flexibility. And maybe that was the plan all along. I mean, Tim Connolly seems to know what he's doing.
Yeah, no, and I think you're absolutely right with how loaded the West is. You have to have that flexibility if you're not one of those top 1 or 2 teams. I mean, the Thunder are gonna be tough. The Spurs are tough. Um, the Lakers, I'm not a Lakers guy at all,
No, me neither.
but they've been playing better. They've been playing better. They've got one of the best players, like Ant on the planet in Luka. But you have to have that flexibility because whether you have injuries or you get guys into foul trouble or just to try to mix things up. I mean, if could we play the Nuggets first round? Is that a possibility? Looking at if the
Yeah,
playoffs
it
started tomorrow?
is because we could be in six, they could be third. Yeah.
Right. So if you take that lineup and that I'd kind of mentioned with that's a little bit faster, I think
Mm-hmm.
Nas can defend the Joker, and
Yep.
you got
He
other
did
guys
well
around
last
there.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that matchup a lot better than our typical Rudy down on the block and Ant walking the ball up the floor. I just and maybe that's just me being biased because I like a faster pace, push the ball, try to get some easy buckets. Because if you can't play transition defense, I mean that's what you're doing right away is creating a lot of confusion and setting screens early. You get a lot of open looks.
Yeah. Looking at the standings, Lakers are 2 games clear of the Nuggets for third right now. There's 6 to play. Wolves are tied for 5th with the Rockets, so they could be 6th easily. Doesn't
Okay.
look like they'll fall any worse than 6th though. So we could have a rematch of
Yeah.
last year, first round 3 versus 6 with the Lakers. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was, wasn't it?
Yes. Yep.
And honestly, like the Spurs, yes, very good. I'm terrified of them in 4 years.
Yeah. Right.
I I
Right.
mean, I feel like the Wolves kinda like they'll be chomping at the bit if they could get that matchup. I
Yeah.
think, physically, Wemby is still he's unreal, but there's
Uh-huh.
some things you can do right now against him that he hasn't quite figured out. And Castle's pretty young yet. Um, but, they're good, obviously, but there isn't really anyone in the West that I think the Wolves are afraid of, which is
Yeah.
kind of maybe their naivete a little bit, but, they do seem to kinda want these matchups. So, like, we beat the Nuggets in the playoffs. beat the Lakers in the playoffs, Houston, I don't think they're afraid of Houston at this point. And then you got the Spurs and you got the Thunder. So Thunder are
Yeah.
just they're gonna be tough for sure.
Yeah, if what you got Castle and Harper, both rookies.
Yeah.
Wemby's what, 3rd
De'Aaron,
year?
yeah, I think so. De'Aaron
Yeah,
Fox.
yeah, De'Aaron Fox, who's young, and yeah, 4 years. Those guys are gonna be if obviously, if they stick around,
Yeah.
you would think I'm not familiar with NBA rookie contracts and stuff like that, but they are gonna be tough. They're
Yeah.
gonna be tough.
Yeah. I think so too. But I don't know if they're quite there yet. Like Bill Simmons on
Mhm.
the Ringer always talks about how the teams need to go through typical NBA teams need to go through like a process of you get to the
Yeah,
playoffs, you lose. You get a little further, you lose, and then you break through. And the Thunder maybe went a little earlier than expected, but they did
yeah.
lose a couple years ago in the playoffs early. And then the Spurs haven't even really been there. So like this might be their first kind of playoff experience. Um, so we'll see how that goes for them. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Six
Y
games to go, I think. Eight, maybe Wolves maybe have eight. I think the Wolves have
Is that
8 games
all?
left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, then you think of our team who's been to the Western Conference Finals twice.
Right.
What's I mean, are we gonna take the next step? It's gonna be tough.
I know.
It's gonna be tough because I know we're not gonna be favored. We're obviously
No.
not favored. Nobody expects the Wolves to maybe not even make it back to the Western
Right.
Conference Finals, let alone to the finals.
Yeah. And then it
Yeah.
becomes like, so if you set a bar of the conference finals. So now if
Mhm.
this year, say they lose second round even, right? To let's say they played maybe they played the Thunder in the second round. They're the five
Yep.
seed, they beat the Nuggets, they get to the Thunder. Now is that a failure? Does Finch get fired? Like what are we doing? But like I think we kind of overachieved that the first playoff run a
Mhm.
little bit. That was the fun, beat the Nuggets, right? In the seven
Yeah,
game
because that was with
series.
Cat. That was with Cat,
Right,
wasn't it? Yeah.
right.
And then we trade him,
Yeah.
get Julius and Dante.
Somehow got
So
back. Yeah,
right, get
and
back there.
yeah,
Now the bar is it's finals or bust.
yeah.
I
It
wouldn't
feels
you know,
like
I
that.
wouldn't yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, I'm not obviously in with the Timberwolves or anything, but it's professional sports. Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at John Harbaugh, how successful he was
Yeah,
with the Ravens, and obviously maybe that's apples and oranges, but you get to the Western Conference Finals twice. I can't imagine what it's like trying to take these professional athletes, especially basketball players. I think it's a little bit different with their personalities and try to get them to buy in to what we talk about. We're talking all the way down to fourth grade basketball
yeah,
to varsity basketball of buying in and being we is greater than me. How do you do that?
yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did get fired, but who do you hire that's gonna
Right,
have as much
right.
success or have that buy-in that he's been able to provide for them?
It sounds like Ant is a big fan, and as long as he's a big fan of him, it's pretty hard to let him
Mhm.
go. I also feel
Yeah,
like you got to kind of look at the environment right now, right? Like the Thunder are just they're going to be really hard to beat, and
yeah,
like you said, Luca is on the Lakers, and the Joker's on the
mhm.
Nugget. Like it is. I don't think there's any shame
And
in the
KD's on the
Western Conference,
Rockets. I mean,
right?
just keep
And
going. Just keep
yeah,
going.
if you don't get out of the second round of the Western Conference Final, that's not an indictment that you had a bad year by any means. I know it's
Right.
frustrating for fans, but um, yeah, like maybe we just hope for next year they move them to the
Well,
Eastern Conference, and then we'll be good.
that's what I was gonna ask you. You're more up to speed with me than on that than I am, but what are the chances of that? Is the NBA going to expand and our Wolves will be in the East? Because that
It
would be
sounds
huge.
like it's the Wolves or Memphis, and I think from what I've seen from like Shams and all those national writers, it's like
Yeah.
they kinda like the geography of Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, and Indiana, I believe, was the
Okay.
other team, which, again, makes a lot of sense in terms of all the other professional sports, right? Like, we
NFC
have
North. I mean,
rivalries,
it's
right?
yeah,
NFC North, the Major League
yeah.
Baseball, the Twins are with the Tigers and the White
Mhm.
Sox, and, so it makes some sense. I think Memphis would have to move in with, like, OKC and Houston and Dallas, San Antonio maybe. I'm not sure how that would play out, but
Yeah.
so it's like up one of those 2, most likely, and it does sound like it, it's going to happen at some point here, but um, I don't know. And then you're dealing with like the Pistons are young and good, and you got the
Mhm.
Celtics, and their Tatum and
Celtics.
Brown are awesome. So
Right.
it's maybe a little bit easier, but it's not like you're gonna
It's
walk
always
in there and
hard.
just
Yeah.
yeah,
Either
yeah,
way,
don't
it's always hard.
right,
It might yeah, when you think you get it's just like seeding. You think you get
yeah,
you want this seed. Well,
yeah,
I really liked our seed this year as the 6. If we coulda got through that first game, which I knew was gonna be tough, but they're all tough either way. And
yeah,
yeah, so it's
yeah.
fun. It's fun to
It
sit here and
is
talk about it.
absolutely, man. Anytime. What do you got coming up? You got some spring basketball, or is it mostly just golf in your world?
No, we've got our first AAU tournament next weekend up at Grand Forks, Grand Forks Grand Am, Junior Grand
Okay,
Am. So both my oldest son Carter and Harper's playing this year, 6th grade. So we're gonna
okay,
go up there for that, and we got 5 tournaments. Plan on 5 tournaments up till June.
mhm,
Basic. Megan and I, my wife Megan and I, look at each other and go, "Here we go again." After Easter, we're going to be on the road every weekend, just like we were
yeah,
from basically January up to Easter, or till
yeah,
the end of March anyway, um, or middle of March. But no, still basketball season for a little bit. Hoping to get out. We've been able to get out in town and actually swing and hit real golf balls at the
okay,
fairgrounds in town. So we've got a nice big area where we can actually hit, but no golf courses yet. But still basketball season here. So it's going to be a lot of fun, to see these. Carter's playing with the same group that he did last year. Harper's playing with some new gals this year, which will be a lot of fun to see them. It's fun to see them network and figure themselves out within a new group of teammates. So be a lot of
yeah,
fun to do that.
yeah. We're kind of doing the same. I was telling you earlier, but we got 20 kids in the sixth grade
Hmm.
group who are playing, and we our last tournament, it's at the Wisconsin Dells, and so
Nice.
we don't get out of the city much for our tournaments. Everything is local, so we don't do the overnights like we probably grew up doing, right? Like that was the
Yep.
big thing, and
Yep.
so I was like, let's do something. Let's get out of here, and it's kind of like Duluth or Des Moines or Fargo or something, and we're like, oh, let's go out to the
Mhm.
Dells, and just seeing all the families book their hotels and get excited
Yep.
about it. I'm like, this is what youth sports should be about
Yeah.
camaraderie and let's go do something fun and get to know each other and mingle with the different teams and parents and kids and all this. And so
Mhm.
really looking forward to it. We're doing 4 tournaments. We start not this weekend, but April 11th. So
Yeah. No,
should
I
be fun.
totally agree. Yeah, during the regular season, what we try to do, so my youngest, Colby, is 4th grade, and we went down and did a Wolves game, played the
Okay.
Clippers, and did the fan experience. So
Yeah.
we go down and spend the night and, hotel room, swim, pool, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the relationships, it's through basketball, it's of all that, learning and yeah, just being around one another and having a lot of fun. So
Yeah. For sure. That's what, everybody says it, but that is truly what you remember. Like I
yep,
still
100%.
remember sitting in a hotel room in Wapaton, North Dakota, as the
Yep.
Gophers beat Clemson to go to the Final Four in 1997. Like,
Yeah.
I remember exactly where I was in that
Mhm.
hotel room playing a spring tournament that year, so it's the
Wapaton,
best.
North, that's a long drive from Chicago, Alberta, isn't it?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, it's across the river from Breckenridge, hour and a half
Right.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotcha.
Got we had to dial it up with some of those Fargo schools there. That was always fun
Yeah.
to mix it up.
Yeah. Oh, good
Anyway,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, thanks, Matt. This was a super fun discussion, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. We happy to do this anytime.
Yeah,
Talk some
same.
hoops.
Yep.
Sweet.
Whether it's 4th grade all the way to the highest level at the NBA. A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
maybe we'll be talking Wolves playoffs in May, and we can check in with the AAU season, how that's going for
Yeah.
you.
No, that sounds great. That sounds great.
Sweet. All right, man. Thanks again.
Yep, you bet. Thank you.
All right, thanks again to Matt Askegaard for joining my conversation today. Appreciate it as always. Always fun to talk to Matt. We could literally do that for hours. I know. Coming up, Wolves have, I think we're down to 7 games left in the season. They are right now tied for fifth, so we'll probably do a Wolves centric episode coming up shortly, maybe maybe Sunday, Monday, somewhere in there when we have time. Easter weekend, so that's always gonna take up some time. So hope everyone has a good long weekend. If you have any time off, if you have spring break, enjoy that. It's we still got a Final Four and we still got NBA playoffs coming up. A lot of us are also working on our spring basketball sessions, working on skills, working with our kids, coaching, whatever you're doing. It's a great time of year as always. Thank you again for listening. This has been the Splash City Basketball Podcast.